Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of Return of the Retro. I am Randark, and with me is Ervik. Say hi again, Ervik.
I'm Ervik.
He's Ervik. He's my friend, and he lives down south. I live up north, and we play games. And this week, what are we playing, Ervik?
Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country. This is far cry from the original game, by the way.
Yeah, it is not the same thing. I hope you didn't come into this thinking you were going to get some Jumpman action.
I was hoping, but no. I was hoping for like a select screen or something where I could go to like some back door or something. I remember in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 I could play Galaga, so I was hoping for something cool in this one. But we'll get into all that. Welcome to the live chat. Hi, Andy, DJ. We had another guy in there earlier, but he walked away, so that's fine. Here's my only comment on the actual game from Geek Culture Ender. Kevin Barrels! Ah! We are part of the Geek Insomnia Network. You should be listening to all of the shows in the Geek Insomnia Network, including Geek Culture Happy Hour, which I'll be featured on Monday at 9 Central? No, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. We'll be talking about The King of Kong, featuring Donkey Kong of all games. Amazing, isn't it? It's like we planned this, but we really didn't. Late Night Steamer will be on tomorrow night, I assume. I haven't heard otherwise, but we don't have a show doc yet, so who knows. And there's Minecraft Uncensored by Linux. And the show has kind of pulled the Linux lately, but hopefully that gets figured out. Of course, you're listening to Return of the Retro. We are on the Geek Insomnia Network, and there are going to be more shows eventually. And if you want to be part of them, you should send me an email, and I will forward it on to those who need to be informed. Hosts at returnoftheretro.com. So, Ervik, what have you been playing?
As per usual, the game of the week, Donkey Kong Country. MechWarrior Online, which I love.
You just got done playing a match, right, didn't you?
Yeah, right before this started, I actually played 2 matches, won them both. Jaeger mechs are the way to go. I finished Last of Us, finally. That game is fantastic. I bought Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition on Steam this week and have been reliving my childhood. That game is great. Let's see, Evoland, which I bought forever ago, finally got around to finishing. It's really good. It's a little simple, but great.
How much more is left after the CD era?
You've just about got it.
Okay.
Probably maybe an hour tops if you're exploring.
Okay, so I should stop being mad at it and actually try.
Yeah, you should finish it. Layton Brothers on iOS, which is a spin-off of the Professor Layton series from the DS. I've been enjoying that quite a bit, actually.
My mom
Magic
has
2014.
Sorry, my mom has Professor Layton on the DS, so I stole it from her. I haven't gotten around to playing it yet. Is it worth my time?
Yeah, if you like puzzles, it is fantastic.
Okay.
Love Professor Layton.
And we played a match of Magic 2013 earlier as well.
We did. I won, of course. Made you quite angry.
Well, I got you down to 1 health, and then through 3 rounds, I couldn't just put the one fucking last little bit on you to win my first, to win the first round of 3, and then I won the second handily because you couldn't draw anything but mana.
Could not. 14 mana. Good lord.
And you couldn't do crap with it. But yeah, it was a good time though.
It was.
2014, you've done the sealed and everything with it. How'd you like it?
I actually really like 2014. They've cleaned up the interface a lot. They've added buttons like attack with all and withdraw all, which are really nice, especially once you start getting up to bigger armies. I think the decks are a little more rounded this time. There's a lot of functionality in a lot of different decks that is not present in 2013. And they finally added a sliver deck. So if you want to be a piece of shit, you can play a sliver deck and kill everyone around you because slivers are horseshit.
You know, you mentioned the unbalancedness of 2013. I think that's something the tournament showed, and Scott was the first to point it out to me, Scott Viper from Late Night Steamer. He said, okay, how many decks are either black, white, or black and white? And the answer to that question out of the 9 decks in the tournament is 5.
Yep.
And 3 of them were Exalted Darkness.
In 2013, unfortunately, all the removal is in black. They don't really give you... There's a little bit in some of the white, and a couple of the other decks have like a little bit of removal. But like Murder and Go for the Throat and, like Innocent Blood, just you can't beat them, especially in a draft type format or a sealed is really small format like we've got where you can't alter anything. Removal is king, and that's that's the way it is. I honestly think the decks are a lot more balanced. There's a lot more decks that feel viable. We'll see what the metagame turns into once Magic 2014 really gets kicking, but right now at least it feels like they're a little more balanced.
How much DLC is there available now? Do you think they're going to announce more?
They've already announced an expansion later this year, and I'm sure they'll do at least a couple deck packs like they have with every other version. And I'm curious to see what they do with the sealed stuff, because right now, once you play through the little mini campaign, you can't really unlock more sealed stuff. So if you want to do more sealed stuff, I think there's a way to like buy sealed slots to like get more packs, but I haven't really looked into it a whole lot. I know you can buy slots. I'm not exactly sure what those are. If there's just an extra place to build the deck, or if it lets you unlock more packs, or what. I haven't looked into it too deeply.
All right. Well, I've been playing some Donkey Kong Country, of course. Actually, I got it on the Super Nintendo, and I told the story on how I got the Super Nintendo late night steamer last week, but I'm going to tell it again here because it's a great story. Also been playing Mega Man still on my 3DS. Really starting to get a little frustrated with that last level. I feel like every time I pick it up, I don't make any progress anymore. But then there's Animal Crossing New Leaf, and every time I pick that up, I don't put it down for an hour because I have to go and I have to fish up everything and catch bugs. And I haven't even gotten to the island that has all the fun stuff to do yet. That was supposed to be unlocked today, but I've been too busy today to pick up my 3DS. If anyone out there is playing this and needs a friend, please add me. Send me an email. I will send you my friend code, or drop me a line on Twitter. You'll get all those links at the end of the show. You can fast forward to there if you want to. I don't care. Please, I need more friends on my 3DS.
I'll get you my wife's friend code. I think she's the only one I know that plays Animal Crossing.
And I've been playing some Team Fortress 2. I found a new server that has people that are a little harder than me to beat, so it's making me a better player. I've been enjoying that. I've been playing the Steam trading card game. Now, it's not really a game, but I've earned almost $15 by doing nothing but turning a game on, letting it run, getting all the Steam trading cards, and then selling them on the community market. If you haven't started doing this yet and you use Steam, you need to. I've gotten $15. It's going to get me 5 games when the Steam Summer Sale comes for doing nothing, basically.
Because I want to know what Valve was thinking with this. God, you're gonna have to explain it, but this is just some shenanigans, just all around shenanigans.
Essentially, people want to level up their Steam XP. We were talking about this, how Steam has kind of become a meta game in itself, and on the last late night steamer. And Steam is now a game. You can collect cards and get badges, and the badges give you XP, and you go up in rank based on that. I'm currently rank 10. Once you get to level 10, you get extra 20% to pick up bonus packs each week. I've seen those for sale on the market now. They're going for a little over $1, so I can't wait to get those because they'll just, $1.50 here, $1.50 there. It'll be great. But also because of that, I did play some of the games that are in the Steam trading card game. I got back into Super Meat Boy. I'm at the second boss now, the second boss level. I love playing that game, and playing Mega Man has made me much better at Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, it'll do that.
I started playing Magica, and that game is hilarious. I am not a vampire.
That game is fantastic. Oh, man. I've actually been playing that recently, too, because of the Steam trading card game, and I forgot how much fun that is. It's got my favorite achievement name. I call it a Hawking Hole.
I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons Tower of Doom, which is part of the Chronicles of Mystara on Steam. I was just playing it on my MAME cabinet to see what it's like. That is a great side-scrolling beat-em-up. And apparently Shadows of Mystara, I think is the other one, is even better. So once that goes on sale, that'll be in my Steam account as well. That'll be awesome. I love those old side-scrolling beat-em-ups. And because of this game, and because I'm doing the show with the Geek Culture Boys, I started playing Donkey Kong again. And god damn it, I can't get past that first level on my first guy to save my ass, to give me enough time to learn the second level well. It's at least 2 or 3 guys to get past the first level, and it shouldn't be. I should be better than that. But as they say in the movie, the average Donkey Kong game lasts less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was never any good at Donkey Kong, I'll be honest. I don't know if I ever beat the first level.
And just before this show, I was playing a little Trine. Trine's a good platformer. I think the controls are a bit tighter than DKC, which is one of my complaints about it, but we'll get into that. But I hate that I accidentally swap characters all the time. And I'm playing with a controller, and maybe it's just because I'm forgetting the controls, but I'm trying to use the grapple hook with the thief, and I switch into the wizard. I'm like, no, god damn it! The wizard is fucking useless. I have to kill everything before I can use the wizard.
But he levitates the hell out of some boxes.
And he makes planks. Good for him. Anyway, you want to get us into some news?
News. Yeah, sure. We can do that. You actually pointed this out to me earlier this week, and I've been surfing through it quite regularly. The what is this thing called? It was the title screams retro game nostalgia. It just essentially has the title screens from a ton of original NES era games, and it sounds kind of silly, but I spent hours clicking through them. There's so many, and I actually have decided, I've put a few things on my list I've never even seen before, and there's a few things that I'm just like, oh man, I need to play that again. Beetlejuice the game was awesome.
It is a pretty cool collection. I really enjoyed making the video just because I got to click on stuff. Like that Flintstones one that just came up, I've never seen that before. I've never seen the game, so it was cool to see these great old school title screens. You know, some of them have graphics, some of them don't. Like the Sonic and Knuckles one has Sonic and Knuckles pointing at you. I've never actually been able to play that. I've been looking for that game for a while now because you can put the other Sonic games into it and play as Knuckles in other Sonic games.
You can indeed.
I really wanted to do that with Sonic 2, and I just can't seem to find a copy.
You know what they did never do? Make a version of that with Shadow the Hedgehog. Give you some guns and some old school Sonic games. God, Shadow the Hedgehog was stupid.
Anyway, there's a new Mega Man game coming out. Fan-made Mega Man Unlimited blasts onto the PC next month. Hooray! Okay, it's not really next month anymore, but you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, it's what is it? July 14th, I think, is the release date now. Is what they've got. It's essentially just after Mega Man 9 released a couple years back. Someone went, you know what? I really like the original Mega Man series, not the X or anything. So he's making essentially a sequel to the original Mega Man series, and it looks really, really good and really faithful. My only concern is Capcom gonna screw him?
Yeah,
it looks like a Mega Man game. It's got the enemies, it's got the bosses. It's gonna be interesting to see if they take offense.
We got less than 2 weeks till this game comes out, and I really hope Capcom doesn't shit on his bed.
It looks fantastic,
and it looks like it's going to be a free download too, which is great. Going back talking about the title screens, DJ had a comment about it. He's actually printed out screenshots of NES games in squares and framed them. He says it's the best homemade crafting project for his home office he's ever done.
That's actually a really awesome idea.
I actually had an idea. I was going to do tile mosaics of 8-bit characters and put them around my office, but the wife doesn't want me to yet. She wants me to, oh, you need to paint, we need to take down the ceiling, blah, blah, blah. Then you can decorate. Okay. I just hope this Mega Man game has tight controls like the original. You really kind of ruined me with that. You know that, right?
Yeah, it's the best platformer. It's so ridiculous. Like anytime you go to a platformer that doesn't have these controls, like how does anyone play this? It's my character's not doing exactly what I need him to do at this exact second.
Andy wants to know if that's how my wife really talks, and no, she doesn't. It's a little bit higher pitched, and she doesn't have the. I just add that. It's more fun. Anyway, Cave Story, one of the most ported games ever, has moved on to a new platform, and I was stupid and didn't include it, so we're gonna have to go back to the Return of the Retro Screen. Cave Story actually has been released on the Dreamcast. I think I own this on Steam. I know you can play it in the 3DS because I went to the store today and there was a used copy of Cave Story 3D for the 3DS. And now it's available to play on your Dreamcast via either the SD card reader, which I saw cost $15 if you want to deal with buying it through a Chinese website. No, thank you.
And that goes great every time. I've never had a bad experience buying a product from a Chinese website.
Or you can go ahead and burn it like you can with every Dreamcast game and play it right on your Dreamcast. I'm actually probably going to burn a copy of this and play it there versus on Steam, because it's one of those games I'll never get around to in Steam, but I'll own forever.
You're building up quite a collection over there, I think, at this point.
Well, this week I went back and looked at all the Humble Bundle stuff I hadn't loaded up, and it is quite ridiculous. I'm well over 160, and of those I have about 90 installed, and I doubt I'll finish even half of that.
I've cracked the 90 mark. I've played most of them, but probably not a lot.
Hey, you're going to get a new badge when you clear 100. Good job.
Sweet. When summer sale comes around, I'll get a nice sweet badge.
Oh.
Can I sell a badge? Can I hawk that for cash?
No, you can't sell badges, unfortunately. They don't need no stinking badges. Vamonos!
I don't either. That's kind of the... I kind of want to hawk it.
There is a new N64 controller coming out. It's wireless, folks. A wireless N64 controller. So now you can play Ocarina of Time on your new 55-inch TV halfway across your room.
Yeah, that is awesome, because those N64 controllers, you can get about 4.5 feet away from your TV, and that's about it. And my couch, man, that thing, because my TV is, 64 inches, my couch is like 9 feet away. So if I want to play my N64 games, I have to go sit on the floor, and that is stupid. I am an adult. I'm on the couch.
My retro gaming setup is actually right next to my desk. It's a maybe a 23-inch TV, tube TV, where I can hook up all my systems to, and I have a dorky gaming chair on the floor to play it in.
Now, is it a tube TV because you like tube TVs, or because you need your light gun to work on your NES?
Both. I like the way sprites look on a tube TV more than on an LCD. And I have a couple different light guns for different systems.
I found this out the hard way, and if I assume most people know this by now, but throw this out there. If you don't have a tube TV, your light guns don't work, because they work on reflection and refraction. So without that glass, it just doesn't do anything.
Andy says adults deserve appropriate seating. He's on your side with this.
Right?
Yeah, my wife was afraid my chair would become the new cat bed, so she put a sheet over it to protect it from fur. But she didn't think that I would be smart enough to take it off, because it just sits there with it on. And now instead of the chair getting furry, my clothes do. So that's nice.
That's a nice touch. I like it. So it's like my granddad's couch, like when you throw a sheet over it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You don't ruin the couch.
And of course she picked a nice manly sheet for me. It's pink with daisies.
Oh, sweet.
She's fucking up my office. But anyway, speaking of familial relationships, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, I actually am really into this. I like Felicia Day. I understand that these days people are starting to not for some reason. I guess I don't know why, but I like her. She started off, with the guild doing her own thing. She did a little bit of acting work on the side, but created this whole, the guild, and now she has an entire channel, Geek and Sundry, to promote geeky things, which is I'm all about. So I really have a lot of respect for her. One of the things that's on her Geek and Sundry channel is when she plays retro games with her brother, and they play various. I think the first one was like Golden Axe 2 or something, and then there it is right there.
Yep.
And it's it's essentially like watching a brother and a sister play video games and yell at each other for 30 minutes or so. I have a lot of fun with it.
I think it's a good series. They kind of tear the games apart, though. I mean, I don't know if you watched the whole Golden Axe one, but they treat it pretty bad. I do like Ryan a little more than Felicia lately. He makes a lot of good jokes as far as that are pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Not kosher. We'll go that way. Felicia kind of worn on me. This series in particular has had me lose a little bit of her geek cred. There's a lot of things she mentioned in some of the videos that are like, you never played that, especially the Sonic 2 one. I understand some people haven't played Sonic 2, but that's like the best Sonic game until you get to Sonic CD, and she's like, "What's this? Who's Miles? Tails? They couldn't. The two of them couldn't play Sonic to save their ass. It was kind of sad to watch."
Geek Culture Andy says that he is ridiculously good at Golden X2, apparently.
He can beat it on 1/4 and tricks the apple tree into producing a midget.
You can kick the midget, too. That's the best part. Kicking midgets.
I once took a trip down to Pittsburgh, and the only reason we went down there for a Gaelic football game, the only reason we went to this one bar is because every hour the midget would come out of his little cubbyhole at the end of the bar and walk down the bar and pour shots into your mouth. That literally is the only reason we went there, and now that guy's dead. So yeah, fun stuff.
See, I was never very good at this game, Golden X2, because there is friendly fire in this game, and it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up with friendly fire, and so as soon as my friends and I discovered this, we never made it past the first screen in the game. This was essentially a fighting game we threw quarters into.
I love that you can ride around in the dinosaur.
Oh yeah, you get some with like axe tails and stuff later. They're great.
All right. I live in Western New York, and here in Western New York we have the National Museum of Play at the Strong. Now, back when I went to it when I was a lot younger, there wasn't a whole lot to do, but apparently there's now an arcade, which I didn't know until until I saw the article for this. And this is Atari by Design. They're going to have this exhibit going through September, and it's how they design an old arcade game, from cabinetry design to decals to the gameplay itself. And apparently it's a really great exhibit. I can't wait to go. Hopefully I'm going to be able to take some video when I go check it out.
Yeah, do so. I've never seen it, so I'd be interested.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to come back again in the future or if it's a traveling thing, but on top of this, they got like 4 dozen arcade machines. So yeah, I'm going to have to go with a roll of quarters as well.
We have sort of a museum with an arcade in it. We have a bar called Ready Player One that just opened down the street.
Really? They named it after a book?
Yes. I don't know if they knew that when they named it. It'd be hard. I'm not sure. But you give them $5, you walk in, you get to play all the arcade games, and they got Ninja Turtles in time, bitch. And you can get drunk for money and play video games. It's pretty great.
That's pretty awesome. There's a bunch of those barcade. Well, barcade's not the right term, but these bar arcades that are coming up. I know there's one in Minnesota. There's one in Las Vegas. Those are by the same person. I think those ones are called Insert Coin. It's just a great idea. I wish there were more people around here, because then I would start my own business doing that. But
this one's kind of a hole. It's kind of a dive. It gives you that almost like creepy bar feeling where you're wondering if everyone's sizing you up to rob you. But I haven't been robbed yet, and they have a bunch of arcade games, and they also have one of pretty much every system, and a couple of the newer the system, the more they have. Like they have like 10 360s in there, but they have like 2 NESs that you can play, and the NESs are like sitting on the bar with the TVs floating up above, and you can just sit at the bar drinking beer and playing Duck Hunt, which is fantastic. But they have they have the loaders where you put in the one cartridge that's got 900 games on it, and you pick from it. But they got one of those for pretty much every system, and I've gotten drunk there several times and had quite the blast.
Andy says he's got one in Grand Rapids. StellasGR.com. If you want to check out the one in Grand Rapids, people, do so. These places deserve your money. It's the only way you're going to get to play arcade games in about 10 years from now.
Yeah.
That leads us to the best news story of the week. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want me?
Oh man, you lead. I want to hear you talk about it.
So someone thought it'd be a good idea to combine sex and video games, and originally that was on the 2600, and they did that with some very poorly designed sex games. Well, someone
Your
has
Larry was great.
someone has broken the fourth wall, and now we have condoms. That's right. You can get your donkey schlong, and you can put it into your bone zone too. This is fucking weird.
Weird nothing. Sign me up for a pair of sextresses and a couple donkey schlongs, because I'm going to get my game on.
They come in a Game Boy styled case that's bright green. It says play on the front, and 6 latex condoms. Unfortunately, they only come in the variety pack, and you get 6 different types of condoms. So if you're the large type, you only get 1. So boys, if you are gonna be shoving this 9-meter dick into some poor girl's dong, or I'll learn to talk someday. If you're gonna be using your big dick on somebody, don't get these. You need to buy the Magnum so you can do it more than once.
If you're going to put your donkey schlong into her sextress, you need... Oh, man, I can't do it.
Oh, here come the names from chat. Andy says, fuck Triss, Super Hornio Brothers, fuck Hunt, and DJ says we're earning our exploit rating tonight. Explicit for the win. You can't read them all right here, but if you go to the website, and I'll post it in the in chat, you can get a little better view and read them all there. It's messed up. Anyway, so you got any local news? Anything going on with you?
No, I just hunting a power brick for my N64. It burned out the other day, and now I can't play, Mario Kart or, Smash Bros. So it's kind of sad. I need to hunt one down on Craigslist. Oh God, I hate every time I have to go to Craigslist. Is the worst experience.
You guys don't have an old game shop? Besides, you don't have like a used game store around?
We used to have a bunch, and they've all kind of closed. I'm sure there's still one. I just haven't done research. I've been kind of lazy when I need to get on it.
In my county of like 30,000 people, in the county, we have 2 here in the city. It's awesome. Oh, they're still pumping out names. DJ's worried about getting Metroids. He doesn't want that. That sounds awful. Andy says Load Runner. And DJ says Mad Cats or some shit like that. Anyway, for me, I won a Super Nintendo, and I guess it's time to tell you this story, Jared, whatever your fucking name is, Ervik. I'll cut that out, don't worry. So yeah, I went to the bar, the local Applebee's. This will be 2 weeks ago on Sunday. And they were having a Nintendo tournament, or that's what I was told. Turns out it was a Super Nintendo tournament, and immediately I'm like, fuck, I've never played a Super Nintendo. I'm like, what game could it be? So my buddy who was DJing told me they were going to have a Mortal Kombat tournament. So I'm like, well, I'm good at Mortal Kombat, now I just need to figure out the controls, right? So I looked up, a bunch of the special moves and stuff so I'd be good in the tournament, figuring I would have stiff competition. So I get there and it's Mortal Kombat 2. Great. Now I got the changes in how combos work and everything. There's much more juggling in Mortal Kombat 2, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking I'm kind of screwed. And then I look at the list of people who have signed up, and there's 5 of them. Now, I don't know anyone by their names here, so that's okay. But I'll let you know who the other competition was. There was a waiter, a waitress, they're engaged, and a father and his 2 sons. Those are the other 5 people. Now, his sons ranged in age. One was 4, one was 10. Now, if it was me, I wouldn't have my 4-year-old playing Mortal Kombat. It's all right. It's the SNES version. That they washed all the blood. Not in 2.
Oh, they didn't.
No, 2 has the blood. And so I get there, and the 2 kids are sitting there practicing. They're playing all sorts of games. God, they're still rolling in with porno names for games. The 2 kids are playing, and I can tell they've never played before. They've both picked Raiden, and they're both just flying at each other. That's the only move they're doing. I'm like, okay, so at least I don't have the 12-year-old who's been playing this game nonstop because his parents can't afford a better system. So that's good. I made it out there. I only get to see the dad play other than that, and I wanted to get a chance to play before the tournament started, so I got on there and I played a little bit, and I just got used to what the buttons were and stuff like that. I didn't want to give away that I've actually played endless hours of Mortal Kombat 3 in high school. Like, for 3 years, it was the only game I was playing on my Genesis. So yeah, so the tournament starts, and the pairings are done at random, and I end up against the 4-year-old. And I'm like, oh, fuck, really? I don't want to make this kid feel bad. So I'm not even looking
But you will.
So I don't even look at the screen. Now, I was going to play as Liu Kang, but I'm like, I don't need any special moves to beat him. I'll just... Reptile's the first one that my cursor's on because I was player on 2. I'll go with Reptile. So 2 rounds later, I've beaten him. I didn't, get too flawless as like I could have. I let him hit me a few times just to make him feel better, but I did win. Then I have to play the other little kid. I'm like, really? How did all the other adults end up on the other side of the bracket? This is ridiculous. So he pulls out Raiden, and I'm like, well, I got to do something to counteract that flying thing, so I got to have my fireball. So I pick Liu Kang this time, and he just got in a pattern in the second round where he ended up beating me. So I won that one 2-1. And at that point, out of 6 people, now 4 have been eliminated. It's down to me and the woman. The girl beat her fiance, and her fiance beat the dad. So the dad came in with 3 entrants and walked away with nothing. That poor bastard. But so now I gotta play the girl, and her character is Reptile, and mine's Liu Kang. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna fuck around. I'm gonna win this fucker. And I just did fireball, 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 dead. And I did that for 2 rounds. I'm like, I'm sorry. And she goes, do you play a lot of video games? And I look down, and I'm wearing my Pong shirt. I'm like, no, I don't. So yeah, I beat the shit out of 2 little kids and a girl to win a Super Nintendo in 6 games.
I like that you're ashamed enough to feel bad about destroying children's dreams, but not enough to not do it. That's what impresses me the most. I love the dedication.
So yeah, because of that.
Yeah, Geek Culture Andy raises a good point. Did Mortal Kombat 2 even have babalities in it?
No, I think it might have had friendships, but that was it. It's now sitting here in my house, and it's in great shape. It's not sun faded and yellowed. The switches are nice and tight. The controllers are all in good condition. I was kind of impressed with the thing, and it came with a bunch of games. I got Dragon's Lair as one of them. A bunch of others that are kind of crap. Pit Fighter and Mortal Kombat 2. So yeah, and now I've since bought like 4 more games for it. Some of them for the show, so we'll get to those, but. Because of that, I got to play our featured game on hardware, which was awesome.
I also played it on hardware. I dusted mine out and had to go. That's one of the few. For some reason, my SNES is one of the few things I don't keep hooked up. Even after I played Chrono Trigger, I unhooked it and put it away. And the next game was done. I was like, well, damn it. Because it was the 2 games later. It's like, just put this. So now I've left it out. And we're just going to leave it out. I got to find a spot for it, though. It doesn't have a cubby hole.
The names keep rolling in. I'm going to go over a few of them before we get into the featured game. We have Porno Combat 2, Donkey Dong, with the prepubescent name of Donkey Dong Jr. Then Andy came. Those were from. Porno Combat was from Andy. The Donkey Dongs were from DJ. Andy comes back with Schlongy Kong. And then DJ hits back with Festering Quest, the search for a topical cream. And Andy replies with Bono Trigger. And this show is definitely going to get an explicit rating. So you want to talk about Donkey Kong?
I'm kind of fond of Bono Trigger, personally. It tickles me just right.
With the bone, that's great.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country, the game we played this week, was a pretty vast departure for Donkey Kong. We'd really only seen him as the villain up to this point. He was always stealing bitches and throwing flaming barrels and flaming piles of shit at Jumpman. Until you got to Donkey Kong Jr., wherein he was imprisoned and Donkey Kong Jr. was trying to save him from the evil Jumpman.
Jumpman's an asshole. Crazy. We've already gone over that.
He is an asshole. It's developed by Rare. They've done quite a few games since that, including a fighting game that you may know, Killer Instinct.
And Battletoads.
Which is being remade. Battletoads, indeed. It was originally released on the SNES, as we've discussed ad nauseum. Around November 21st, 1994. Damn, that's my brother's birthday. Not the 94 part. It's the other part. That's weird. It's the first Donkey Kong game not produced by Miyamoto, Mr. Nintendo. Instead, this game was produced by Tim Stamper. Although Miyamoto was still involved in this project, he's not going to let one of his precious properties go.
That sounds like him.
This game... Go ahead. Do your thing.
It was sold over 9 million copies, which is pretty huge for back then. I mean, I don't think I've ever owned a game that sold that many that's any older than this. Except for maybe Combat.
It's a huge install base. That's so many copies of an SNES game.
And you know what? It's hard to find. It's because people love the game, they hold on to it. It's actually hard to find in stores. It's kind of ridiculous.
You can find 40 copies of Donkey Konga, though.
I actually saw a copy of that. Maybe it was Donkey Konga 2. I don't remember, for the GameCube today when I was at the store. Works with bongos.
That game is so bad. It hurts me thinking about how bad that game is.
There was a Player's Choice re-release in 1998 that was for selling all those copies. It has an aggregate score of 90.5 from reviewers. And I guess we'll get into how we feel about it, but I can tell you mine's not going to be close. It's ranked as the 90th best game on Nintendo systems, Nintendo Power, in the top 200 games in 2006. And it won the Power Award for Best Overall Game of 94, which kind of pisses me off, because 94 was a pretty good year for video games.
I bet some hockey game came out that you think should have won.
That came out in 93, don't give me shit.
Hockey. If it's not Blades of Steel, I don't care.
And it won 2 Kids' Choice Awards from Nickelodeon. Thanks, guys. One of each for favorite video game of 94 and 95. How can it win 95 as well? That's fucked up. They gotta fix how they do that shit. The fucking names keep pouring in.
It must have been a dry year.
So, what was this game like for you? How was the gameplay?
Gameplay's pretty simple. It's your standard platformer with a few variations to kind of spice it up a little. Basically, it's very Mario-esque. You jump on shit's heads to kill it, with a few exceptions. There are enemies that you can't jump on. The depth of the gameplay in this one comes from, you have 2 characters. You got Donkey and Diddy, and they're both on screen at the same time, one following the other. And you can switch between them. If you take enough damage as whichever one is the main character, he runs off screen until you break a DK barrel to break them back out, and you only have one character at that time. But you have to choose which one you're using, and each one is a little unique, where Diddy is a little faster, a little more aggressive character. He's weaker, so when it comes to some of the tougher enemies, it takes longer to kill, or just downright can't do it. And Donkey is much slower, but he's stronger and can beat those bigger enemies easier. He also has the just grotesquely named hand slap maneuver, which sounds like something I do on Saturdays when my wife is out. But you need that special move to find hidden treasure, much like I do.
Oh, God, dude. Oh, the animal buddies in this game are part of it that really kind of took away from the rest of the game for me.
Oh, you don't like the animal buddies? They're so adorable.
They were fun to play with, but they're so inconsequential to the game that they could have left them out, and I think the game would have been better. When you first get on the rhino, it doesn't jump well, for one. I mean, yes, it's a rhinoceros carrying a fucking ape. I get that it shouldn't be able to jump well, but at certain points you do have to jump with it on that first level, and you're just like, go, you fuck, and he won't.
Yeah, he's a little slow, but on the converse side, you get the little fish who has a stupid name I can't remember. And that makes swimming levels actually bearable. You've got that pointy thing, or you can swim into mobs instead of having to dodge everything.
See, I had the exact opposite view of the swimming levels in this game. Normally, I fucking hate them. And both Andy and DJ saw me play Echo, and I couldn't stand that game. But the swimming levels in this game, I really enjoyed. They were fluid motion. This is up until the last one I was on, which kind of pissed me off. But that's only because of an enemy in it, not the swimming mechanics itself. But I really thought that it worked well.
Okay. I don't think I've ever met a swimming level I've liked. So I still have nightmares about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dam level where you had to disarm the bombs. I still have nightmares.
You know, surprisingly, out of, back then it was me, my brother, and my two cousins who lived, just a little ways away. And we had that game, and I was the one who was the best at that. I could do it and still have like 25 seconds remaining on the clock.
Nice.
And do it in less than one turtle. I'd never got killed doing it. I became really good at that, and I don't know where my skills of swimming disappeared to, but yeah.
So what did you think about the story in this game? How did that?
I tried to figure out what the story was from the game itself. I mean, it opens up, and there's an old man sitting on the Donkey Kong girders, playing an old what do you call those fucking things? A record player that's cranked with this big old horn, and he's in his rocker, and I'm like, oh, this is going to tell me a story. Nope, Donkey Kong comes in, fucks things up, puts a boombox down, and basically tells him he's a piece of shit, and that's how your story has begun. Then you start the game, and you just start walking out of Donkey Kong's house, and there's some lizards in your way, and if you don't kill them, they'll kill you. That's what I got from the story. But then I went to Wikipedia. And Wikipedia says, in Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong, together with his nephew and sidekick Diddy Kong, must recover the stolen hoard of bananas from King K. Rool and the Kremling. The Kremling are the lizard people. Upon investigating the empty Kong's banana hoard located directly underneath his home in Congo Jungle, Donkey Kong embarks on an adventure throughout his native Donkey Kong Island. While collecting bananas on the island's vastly different regions, Donkey Kong must defeat many enemies, including the reptilian Kremlings and other hazardous creatures native to the island. Aiding him in his quest are some of the other Kongs. Diddy accompanies Donkey Kong on his quest. Cranky provides hints and comic relief. He actually is kind of funny in some of the shit he says. Candy operates the island's save points, and Funky offers a means of transportation around the island. Also assisting Donkey Kong at times are various animal buddies. Rambi the Rhino, Espresso the Ostrich, On Guard the Swordfish.
On Guard, that was a stupid name.
But he's a swordfish, don't you get it?
I get it. I just think it's stupid.
Winky the Frog and Squawks the Parrot. I never actually got to see Squawks. I saw the rest of them.
Squawks isn't. He's not really an animal buddy per se. He accompanies you in a mine level, and he carries a lantern. That's all he does.
Each with their own unique abilities. After progressing through the island's different areas, Donkey Kong ultimately arrives at a pirate ship called Gangplank Galleon, where Donkey Kong's nemesis and leader of the Kremlings, King K. Rool, awaits with the Donkey Kong's banana hoard. Upon his defeat, the game ends with a final shot of Donkey Kong's banana hoard restored to its former glory, filled with bananas once again. Now, if your whole goal is to get to the banana hoard, and along the way there's an ass ton of bananas, why
Don't
would
say ass and banana in the same sentence. I'm trying to refrain from making jokes, man. You can't toss them to me like that.
So there's a butt ton of bananas. Is that better?
Not really.
So there's a lot of bananas along the way. Why wouldn't you just build your hoard up from what you collect and let that asshole take yours? And, you got all these barrel cannons. Why don't you shoot a ship down with a frickin' barrel cannon?
Jungle full of floating cannons.
I'm just angry because the game's platforming for me was not that much fun.
I mean, I can understand you hating like the minecart levels because those are bullshit.
Actually, the minecart level I liked more than the regular levels.
That's so weird. You're a weird dude.
Maybe it's because I was good at the minecarts in DuckTales. I don't know.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Comes out Q3. Yay. But yeah, the jumping parts, they have rounded platforms. The edges are rounded, so you can't really tell quite where the cliff is. And so if you get to the edge, and you fall, there's no recovering. And of course, your idiot fucking sidekick jumps off the cliff with you. Hey, stupid!
Yeah.
Stay there.
Yeah.
That was one thing.
I mean, you did master the cartwheel jump, right? Like you cartwheel off the ledge and then jump to get extra far.
I knew I could do I found out about halfway through what I completed that I could do a running jump and get further. I never cartwheeled. I mean, I used that same button.
Yeah.
But
if you do the cartwheely thing, you can like cartwheel off, and then it's kind of like a double jump, but it only works if you're cartwheeling.
Huh. No, I didn't know that. Maybe that'll help. But some of those jumps were, before I even knew about the long jump that you could do, I was just trying to do the regular jump, and it was basically pixel perfect if you wanted to make those. Those really drove me nuts until I figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can understand. This game's controls aren't nearly as tight as Mega Man. I did kind of spoil you a little.
Yeah. Oh, it was even worse on the Wii. The Wii was kind of delayed with the controls when I emulated it before I got the Super Nintendo. And so I'd jump and he'd be standing there for a second. Then he'd go, and it was enough of a delay that I could, literally speak a word in between. That was nuts. Anyway,
the Wii is quality hardware.
What did you think? You love this game, right?
I have a real fondness for this game. I played it a lot as a kid. I think I played this more than pretty much any other SNES platformer back in the day. I gotta say I wasn't as in love with it this time when I played it, but I don't know. Some of that might just be nostalgia wearing off. Yeah, it was not. I remember this game being a lot better than it was, I guess.
Have you played any of the subsequent games in the series?
I played one of the Game Boy ones. I don't remember which one it was now. It's been so long. But that's about it. I did play Donkey Konga a few times, which I regretted. I have not played the newest one that came out on the Wii yet. I planned on doing it eventually, but I never got around to it.
That's Returns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just made a 3D version of that for the 3DS as well. Oh, look, here I am on the Rhino. Let's kill these guys. And then I'm going to have to jump. Oh, I'd made the jump, and I couldn't make that jump. Let me go in the tunnel he created. It's just... That Rhino really kind of just made me angry the first time I got on him. For me, this game... Between the controls not being as tight as Mega Man and being a little bit used to that now, and it just seemed like there were a lot of places that should have been accessible, but no obvious way of getting to. Like the tops of these trees look like I should be able to stand on them, but there's no obvious way to get to them. So I don't know. I was hoping for more. I was hoping for more of the swinging from vines and stuff like that than I got. Some of the enemies really kind of made me mad. I hate the bees. Why does a bee have spikes on its back? I mean...
So you can't jump on it unless you have the...
Unless you have the frog.
The little frog,
Why doesn't the frog get hurt? He's just got a soft underbelly.
I don't know, man. Why anything?
Then using the ostrich couldn't do crap. You couldn't land on anything's head with the ostrich.
Nope, you just run really fast.
And that kind of drove me nuts. The place
I don't know what weird sorcery holds the cannons floating in the middle of nowhere.
There was another thing. There were a couple levels I've accidentally found the cannons that basically shoot you across the whole second half of the level.
Secret cannons.
Yeah, those were awesome. At least they had those. I mean, that was the only way I got past the caves level in the Snowy Mountain area.
The Snowy Mountains. Infamous. What was that, World 4?
Yeah, what's it called? The Congo Glaciers or something stupid. And there were a bunch of little mini games I found that were kind of awful. Like there was one I had to hit the barrel when it said a K and then an O and an N and a G to spell Kong, and it's a pain in the ass to do. And then you only get one life for it. I mean, at least reward me with 3.
Yeah, there are a bunch of those little mini games. They were trying new stuff, man. They had all this hardware they didn't know how to use yet.
Within about 10 minutes of playing this game, I discovered an endless loop to get extra guys. In the first level, you can get an extra guy pretty quickly in there, and if you do it right after that, you can collect one of the golden ostriches, and then die, and then you could just go and do it again, so you're not actually losing a life, because you got the extra life, and then you get to the 3 ostriches, then you get to go to the ostrich special level, collect a bunch of ostriches like you do bananas, and if you do it right, you can get 3 or 4 of them, 3 or 4 extra lives from that, and then you go right back to where you were and start all over again. You can literally rack up endless lives and play through the game that way. I mean, the game shouldn't be so obviously broken to me like that.
I suppose. It's kind of, this game was made for a younger audience that probably didn't really And we weren't really gaming stuff quite yet. We weren't bouncing on turtle shells for infinite lives back then.
Oh
We
yeah,
hadn't
we
figured
were.
that out yet.
I had that come through before I even owned the Nintendo. I knew about that trick.
Oh, you were a late adopter, were you?
Well, the Nintendo came out in what, 85? And
Yeah, right around then.
I
Yeah,
was
I
only
think it was
3 then. I don't think I got it till I
85.
was 7. So,
That's true.
eh, um, there were a lot of levels I really did enjoy. One of them I hated was the stop and go level. That one drove me nuts. But
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes stop and go.
I really like the mine levels. The first couple of barrel cannon levels were fun.
It gets a little old.
It gets old and they start spinning faster, and if you don't press it just right, you gotta have perfect timing on the spin or you die. That type of stuff got old. The last swimming level I got to was Octopus Chase or something like that. Oh, Croctopus Chase. And
Octopus, yeah.
Croctopus Chase. And
Stupid.
they'd just be sitting there, the little octopuses, and then they'd start spinning and swimming with a spin at you. I am a giant primate with huge hands. I should be able to pull myself through the water much faster than that thing can go. But no, if you bump aside, or if you happen to run into a shark or something, they catch you. You have no way to escape once you do one mistake. And I thought that was a bit unforgiving.
Yeah, it was definitely like a steep spike in difficulty right about there. But not unmanageable, just kind of obnoxious.
I did enjoy the temple levels, especially the one where you had the little guy inside the giant hay ball chasing you down like you're in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders, yeah.
That was fun. I enjoyed those ones. I didn't understand what the flights were for the longest time. Like, okay, so I can go fast through all of these levels. But I didn't realize once you get into a section, you couldn't get back out of it to the main map.
Yeah, that's how you
Yeah.
need to. Yeah, you got to use the fly thingy because you got to go back to Candy to save, or you got to go buy stuff from. Which, by the way, Candy, do not make your gorillas sexy. That just makes children feel weird. Don't make sexy gorillas, guys. It's just so weird.
Hey, where is Donkey Kong Jr. in this game?
Donkey Kong Jr.?
Yeah,
I don't remember where Donkey Kong Jr. is.
exactly. First you create a game with him in it, then you create a game without him in it? No, you have to have continuity, people. Diddy Kong should have been DK Jr.
Good point. Well, I mean, maybe he ditched Donkey Kong Jr. after he stopped kidnapping human women and started dating sexy gorillas.
I guess that's how that works. Send the kid off to college.
Right? He sent that kid off with his human mom and started dating Candy, the sexy gorilla.
So anyway, how would you rate this?
Back in the day, I would have definitely given this like a 9 out of 10. I gotta say, this playthrough feels more like a 7.
So it didn't
Maybe an
hold up
8.
for you?
Not quite as well as I'd hoped. The controls are not quite as tight as I want. The whimsy of the game kind of didn't hold up for me. Maybe I'm just a cynical old ass, which is possible. But it wasn't quite all there. But I still really enjoyed it. I'd go with 7.5. I'm gonna split the difference. 7.5.
I'm watching this video, and to make On Guard go fast, it looks like Donkey Kong fucks it in the ass. It's really kind of gross.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know if that'd make it past the censors these days.
Yeah, hit the button to go fast, and Donkey Kong will rear back. Yay! Fuck. Anyway, for me,
There are so many collectibles in this game too. It's DJ Pimp Daddy brought that up. That's every level. You've got the freaking Kong letters. You've got bananas. There's extra lives you got to hunt down, and then there's the stupid little golden tokens you got to collect that let you do the extra levels where you get the fucking so many things to collect. Jesus Christ.
if it weren't for the time, maybe I would have taken time to find some of this stuff. But unless it was right out in the open, I didn't bother to try to find it.
Yeah, there's so many things to collect. They definitely went a little overboard. Which, you can see that reverberating in games even today when you go play like Alan Wake and there's 95 TVs you got to hunt down. And
Yeah, I will not be doing that. I will play the game for the story, and I don't. We had a discussion on the late night steamer of what type of gamer are you, and I told them that I was an achiever, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna go for the bullshit achievements that the game tells me exist. For me, I want to win and I want to complete the story, and those are the achievements I want. I don't necessarily have to kill everyone or blah 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 blah, but random things like making sure I get all the golden statues in this game would just be, it'd drive me nuts. I'd waste so much time doing that when I could be playing another game and having a good time with that one.
yeah, I started off my game career as a super achiever. When 360 came out, I was grabbing every achievement. I think I have like 40,000 gamer score or something at one point. And eventually I was like I forget what game I was playing. I was just super frustrated, and it just snapped. And I was like, you know what? Fuck all these stupid achievements. And now I play. If I really like a game like Last of Us, I'll go back and I'll try and get some of the achievements. But some of the ones I just cannot be bothered with.
Once you got on an animal, could you press the button to switch off? Switch off?
Yeah, I think that if you hit the switch button, I think it jumps off.
Okay, because I don't think I ever tried to do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a switch button. There's a button for it. I think.
There was a button to do it, but I didn't know if you could do it on, on one of the animal buddies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same button that switches characters.
For me, I'm going to give this a 6. It's a fun game. I had a good time playing it once I got used to it. But it also frustrated the hell out of me. There were several times I would just, especially once we got up to the top of the mountain and I'm going through the snowy parts. And, I'm trying to throw a barrel, but Donkey Kong slips off the edge as he throws it. And, oh, I just got released, but let me jump off the edge too. It felt like I was getting cheated out of some stuff versus, Mega Man, where I didn't feel cheated at all. And there were several times if I would have been 10 years old, I would have just straight thrown the controller through the TV. So, for that reason, I'm going to give it a 6. It's not a bad game. I'll definitely try to complete it at some point, but I'm in no rush at all.
Oh, look, in the video you just found one of the cheats.
Yep. This is the first level with the barrel cannons, and already, I'm dead. So it's,
I will say, playing as Diddy, the controls aren't quite as smushy as they are as DK, since he's a little quicker. They feel a little more responsive. So.
Yeah, Andy had forgotten about the really smushy controls, and that's what annoys him about this game today, and back then. Hey, there was see, like right there, I saw the rhino. I got, why can't I jump off Donkey Kong to get up there? You can jump off the lizards. Why can't I jump off Donkey Kong's head to get there?
Because it would kill him, man. Jumping on heads kills. You learn anything?
I'm Diddy Kong, and Donkey Kong's huge. I'd be just fine.
I don't know. I guess let me jump on your head. We'll see how it turns out. I guess I would be Donkey and you would be Diddy, huh?
You're not. Well, you are a little bit bigger than me, but not much. Anyway, so I give it a 6. So we have a little bit of a live chat here. I think both guys have the game, but I'll ask, who wants a free copy of Frozen Synapse? I was going to give it away a different way, but since you guys are both part of the Geek Insomnia Network and you know how I just give away games I don't need, you guys can have whichever one wants you or says you want it, you can get it. Andy says, you guys are both military. Isn't jump on head maneuver the first thing they teach you?
In the Navy, that's the third or fourth thing they teach you. We learn the water levels first. That's advanced training is jumping on the head.
Yeah, you gotta get special gun training and stuff to be able to jump on the head. And I didn't get to shoot a gun until 3 years in. So. Oh.
I never shot a gun except for the laser M6 or M4 Alpha, I guess, that we got to shoot in basic. Laser guns. Pew pew.
Yeah, talking about that, I'm going to go off on a tangent here because I want to. when you went to battle stations at the end, and you had to shoot at the one that lit up, did you realize that the computer screen next to it was going to tell you which one was going to light up?
I don't remember battle stations very well. No, I don't remember.
I walked in and they lined us up, and I took the first 2 shots at whatever lit up, and I just happened to glance down and said, "Prepare to shoot at upper target." I'm like, "Are you shitting me? It's this easy?" Okay, I'll aim at the upper one. Oh, lights on, bang. Battle stations was such shit.
Yeah, it was. Especially, it was kind of anticlimactic for me because I was a little fatty fat in boot camp, and I failed the first 2 runs, so they pushed me back, and I was in fat camp for 2 weeks, and eventually they told me if you still want to graduate on boot camp the same day you would have when you came in, you've got to pass it this week. And I'd been for 2 weeks I'd been trying to lose weight and trying to get my run up, and it just was not working. And that was the motivation I needed was if you don't want to be in boot camp extra time, you need to pass this today. And I was like, fuck it. And they're like, you want to take it? I'm like, yeah, I got this. And I passed it with a good minute to go in this run. I threw up twice while running, and still I powered through and got after this 2 weeks really intensive fat camp, battle stations, and that's all they've been talking about for 6 weeks. So we get there, and I was like, this is it. I just kind of wander around in the dark a little and pull ropes and then shoot light up targets. I guess. All right, let's do this.
Battle stations for me, it was so slippery and stuff out. They took away the running because I went through it just before Christmas, and so we could just walk fast basically, but we still had to sing and all that crap. And so it's 4 in the morning, and we're out of regular stuff we sing. For cadence, and I'm like, well, yeah. Let's see, what can we come up with? Oh, it's 2 weeks before Christmas, or 1 week, whatever it was. Let's sing Deck the Halls, because that you can march to. So I start yelling out the verses to that, and everyone replies the fa la 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 la. We get through the first verse, and I'm about to go into the second. No more Christmas carols! Why not? We're doing what you want, we're participating. That's the biggest thing about battle stations. Just keep participating.
The only I didn't march a lot after boot camp because there's not a lot of room on Navy bases to march around or call. But the only cadence I remember is "What makes the grass grow?"
Blood, blood, blood.
Oh, the weirdest thing for a bunch of namby-pamby Navy recruits.
Yeah, who are never going to shoot anybody. Oh, just some of the stuff was stupid. They yelled at me because I did well in class and I wasn't willing to help other people.
This is a team exercise.
First of all, I don't know how to study. I didn't study myself. I'm just good with tests. Second, how am I going to teach this idiot who can't do anything?
Don't get me started on the tests. Can you name what ship this is by the silhouette? Do I need to? I'm confused.
I'm going to fix radar. Radar. That means I'm going to know there's a ship there, and I'm going to know that it's my ship or not. Other than that, I don't care what ship it is. Now, you want to ask the guy who's going to be wearing binoculars, who's going to be steering the boat, yeah, he needs to know. Not so much this guy.
If you don't know if it's friendly or not till it's in sight of you, you done fucked up, by the way.
Much.
You have fucked up. If you can see that ship, that is not good for anyone involved.
Oh, speaking of being able to see, what are we doing next week, Ervik?
Next week, well, I'll throw it to you because I don't know which one you managed to pick up today. Do you want to try Eternal Darkness, which is a GameCube game, fantastic, Silicon Knights, one of the only games that Silicon Knights made and Dennis Dyack made that was good, or we can do Shadowrun in preparation for Shadowrun Returns, which is coming out next month, or this month. This month.
Unfortunately, I could not get a copy of Shadowrun. I would have liked to have done that just because the timing would have been good. So we're gonna have to go with Eternal Darkness. I got it today. I'll be able to pick it up. It's in the store. It's out of town, so they're gonna transfer it over. It'll be available to me Monday. But I got it for $25, and it's coming with a free GameCube controller because it was buy one get one off sale for the 4th of July.
Nice.
So yay! and I'll be playing it on my Wii.
Yep, that's how I the last time I played it. That's how I played. I do recommend if you can find one, getting a Wavebird because they rule. I love my.
That's
Wavebird.
a controller.
It's the wireless GameCube controller.
Okay,
it's pretty great.
They only had 2 brand new Yobos, which were $13.99 a piece, or the other store had an actual GameCube controller, which is also $13.99, but it was used. So I went with the used one just because I could get it for free versus paying the $13.99. And it's also stock. So
I'll give you a little heads up on the game. Something that I didn't know when I first played it, but will be handy to you. At some point in the very beginning of the game, you get a choice. This game is also Cthulhu-esque. You are uncovering and fighting, etc., against elder gods. Not Cthulhu, but maybe Cthulhu's cousins. At one point, there is early on, you have to pick between 3 objects, and the objects have a rune on them. One is red, one's blue, and one's green, and they have different shapes. But that actually changes the entire playthrough of the game. The locations and stuff are still the same, but the bosses actually change. And if you beat it 3 times on the same save, you actually get some unique ending stuff. So I doubt you'll beat it 3 times before we talk about it, but you might want to, once you're done, YouTube the final ending just so you can see it. But the bosses are also vastly different difficulty-wise depending on which color you pick.
So are you telling me it's like Mega Man?
Not quite Mega Man, but
I might not get special abilities, but the difficulty is quite different based on what I go for.
It is. Some of the bosses are much harder in different color scenarios, but there's not like one color is genuine. It's not like blue is the easy color, red is the hard color. It's different bosses are. Like there's one boss that if you pick the blue color, you can fall asleep and accidentally beat it. But the red version of that boss is, controller shatteringly difficult.
All right, well, I'm kind of looking forward to it. The guy at the store who works behind the desk, he was excited when I even mentioned the game. Well, he was excited as a fat hipster who wears a fedora and makes his living peddling used games to the poor masses of my farming community. As excited as a guy like that can get. So he said, hey, I remember that game. It was really messed up. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to play it in the dark when my wife isn't around, because she doesn't deal well with being scared.
You should actually. There's a lot of good stuff in that game. If you remember Metal Gear Solid, like Psycho Man just reading your memory card and stuff, this game actually does a lot of that kind of interesting stuff. I don't want to spoil any of it, so when you get there, you'll get there. But stuff happens that will it's kind of fucked up.
And this will be the first time using the GameCube function on my Wii since I bought it in 07, so go me!
Alright. This is one of the few games on GameCube worth it. Oh, Luigi's Mansion's great.
Andy liked your phrase, controller shatteringly difficult.
Yeah, I have broken many a controller. You weren't there for this one, actually. We were playing, I forget which NCAA it was. But it was in the barracks in A school, and we were having a turn. We had all of us in the barracks, or 4 of us in the A school barracks.
Yep.
We were doing seasons, and
football or basketball?
It was football, and 2 of us were undefeated, and we ended up in the Rose Bowl, and we're playing and having a good old time, and he is just shitting on me. I mean, destroying me. Imagine the worst ass beating you've ever got in a video game and multiply it by like 4. Like, I was undefeated. I had beaten 2 other players, beaten an entire AI season. I was doing great, and I just got spanked like a small child. And you know how, 19-year-old dudes are. We were, everyone's sitting there watching, ribbing the shit out of me. And at one point, I stood up and shattered the controller against the wall. I mean, shattered it. And not only did I fuck up the wall, I fucked up the controller. And at this point, I realized that was his controller, not mine. And then I threw a hissy fit like a small child and walked out of the room. And I eventually came back and replaced his controller and reported the broken wall, got it fixed, and got yelled at. But it was not one of my finer moments.
The first time I saw you destroy something against the wall was actually in my apartment in Bahrain. You got a phone call that you didn't appreciate the subject matter. I won't get into it because I don't want to embarrass you, but yeah, your phone didn't survive another 5 minutes of that conversation.
Yeah, and that was a Nokia.
Yeah, that thing was built like a brick shithouse.
Oh, man, I
You
shattered
shared
that
in
fucker.
one throw. It was amazing. Oh, and amazingly, my wallet didn't even have a dent in it. That was pretty impressive. I didn't have to. I got my security deposit back.
Nice. Yeah, oh man, that was a day right there.
Oh.
I've broken a lot of stuff. I have anger problem. multiple anger problem.
All right, well, I guess that's it for story time. You ready to close this out?
Yeah, let's do it. Roll the outro.
All right, you can find us at returnoftheretro.com. We are part of the Geek Insomnia Network, which is at geekinsomnia.com. Not com. Yes, not com. Twitter, Return Retro. Facebook, facebook.com/returnoftheretro. Twitch, twitch.tv/returnoftheretro. YouTube, youtube.com/returnoftheretropod. And email, hosts at returnoftheretro.com. Once again, thanks to Geek Insomnia Network for letting us be the giant Donkey Kong in their otherwise smelly, new Dave and Buster style arcade. And thanks to Tim Bray on freesound.org for our theme song that's going to go ahead and take us out once I get it to play.
Kid Dickerous.
Oh, God.
Save the best for last. That is my favorite. Because not only is it a dick joke, it's a pedophile dick joke.
Oh, man.
That's fantastic.